Hi everybody, selamat petang sekali lagi. I'm your moderator, Sri Ganesh here from SG Education Group. Sekejap lagi kita akan pergi secara live. Pada masa kini, I think kita masih dalam Zoom platform lagi. Back end kita akan stream secara live sekejap lagi 3:30 ya. So saya harap semua bersabar sebab untuk sesi Zoom ni adalah eksklusif sebab ia membolehkan platform untuk menanya soalan dan sebagainya untuk yang dah buat pendaftaran awal nanti. Sebelum ni bila kita bagi link tu mereka dah buat pendaftaran lah. So I hope you guys please be patient enough to wait for the live session. That if you have any friends who like to join us, I think our back end has put in the link for them to access the live session. Exclusive for this session, for these viewers, we have the Zoom platform for you to raise your questions and whatnot. Now, we have some house rules. We have to mute all of y'all during the session so that we won't have interference. If you have any questions and so on, please put in the chat box. We love to accommodate to all your queries and questions. But just take note, let's focus to the topic today. We have distinguished guests from CAAM, we have from DRZ, and we also have from CAAM, DRZ, and many other people from Magic, which can give you a view on the drone ecosystem itself today. So I really hope that you guys leverage on today's session, and I think we will be live in 5 minutes. 3:30 is our session. We will go live in 5 minutes, and I hope you can hold your horses. Just sabar-sabar dulu lah. Kita akan sekejap lagi 5 minit kita akan ke udara live session. Alright. Sekarang saya nampak macam TV host pula. Okay. I'm here to moderate the session, but kita akan buat yang terbaik lah untuk memudahkan sesi ini. So minta kerjasama everybody to stay tuned, share the link to your friends, with your friends, Facebook links so that they can watch to a live stream. Right? If you're using multiple devices, please only use one device to communicate with us because we have closed this session only for those who have registered. So many out there are still in the waiting room want to come in. Thank you for your understanding. 4 more minutes, we will go live. And yes, even after the session, you can always put in the, once you're in the chat box, we will reach out to you to answer all your queries. We also will put in our email address below so that if you want to reach out any information that you want to request later, or you have something on this that you want for us to elaborate, yes, we can assist you on that. But provided everything related to drone and something which is very practical, all right? We have many drone sessions, but this got to be the one related to drones in Malaysia. How are we going to move forward? It's open for everybody, for those who are beginners and also in the industry, and get to know everything that's related to drone today in Malaysia, yeah, commercial drones, right? Any technical questions? Not today, but our technical team would love to help you guys. 3 more minutes, and then we will be live, all right? One more minute and we'll be live. Hello, drone players. Welcome to Drone in Malaysia, Propelling Towards the Future. It was a much awaited session for today, and thank you for tuning in. We are pleased to have you to take part in today's session. In order to be considerate and respectful to everyone's attending and presenting today, all attendees are muted. We will have the time during the session to address questions, but you may submit questions at any time during the session. To submit a question to our panelists, please enter your question in the Q&A text box. Should you experience any technical difficulties, please send a chat message in the chat box. Now, selamat petang. Selamat kembali ke arena drone hari ini di platform yang dibawa oleh Asia Drone dan SG Academy ya. Session ini adalah telah direkodkan, so jika anda terlepas peluang ni, kita akan upload lah dekat website. Now, it's both an honor and privilege to have three distinguished guests with us today to share with all of us some insights on drones, its presence and effects in Malaysia, and how you can leverage in getting ahead in the race of its technology today. And me, I'm Sri Ganesh from SG Education Group, and we have Mr. Muhammad Fazila bin Rosli, the Assistant Director in Technology of CAAM, Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, Drone Task Force. This is the person lah, orang yang in charge tentang Drone Task Force ni, right? So Mr. Fazli, please wave kepada penonton kita hari ini, right? Thank you. And we have Mr. Muhammad Safwan, muka yang tidak asing lah secara online ni. Dia Vice President in Technology and Innovation of Magic. You can ask questions regarding various drone opportunities with Mr. Safwan today, right? And of course, Miss Grace Liu, gracious Grace Liu, right? She's the head of business enablement of enablement of IBB Ventures DRZ Iskandar, right? I think she can wave now, so people know that you are here. Now, before I could start further, I would like to share one slide thing, all right? Then we can go to our panelists, right? Let me see. Okay. Okay, I hope you all can see my slides. Are we good? Right. Now, here I would like to just focus on the drone technology, disruptive technology in action, right? Now, this is a journey. Let me make it into a presentation mode. Is it good now? Right. Now, okay. Right. Now, this is a journey where you can see the blue line represent the manned aircraft, kapal terbang dan sebagainya, and drone represent the green vertical, whereby if you see it all started somewhere in the early 1980s, the progress towards transportation and sebagainya. But somewhere in 2015 towards 2020, the manned aircraft and drone collided. the vertical, the arrows or the progress collided because the drone took an inflection point di mana dia mula membuat work from solution to become services. Right, so it undertook the path towards an inflection point. It moved to solution towards services. All right. Now, what is to be understood here is, let me share my insights. All right. As I mentioned just now, the various journey that I mentioned, overall, it just showed the manned aircraft as steady technology rise and use cases. And drones started to be used outside of military in the 2000s and had rapid increase in use cases and cost reduction. And in about 2018, the number of commercial drone companies passed the number of manned aircraft operating companies. Maksudnya pada tahun 2018, syarikat yang membekalkan servis drone ya telah meningkat dan melebihi daripada syarikat-syarikat kapal terbang. So maksudnya bidang drone ini menjadi satu bidang teknologi disruptif, disruptive teknologi, di mana mula mengambil tugas man aircraft lah di sebagainya. So katakan helikopter kita nak gunakan untuk ambil gambar dan sebagainya, sekarang drone menjadi peranan yang penting. So dengan itu, bila peranan yang penting, drone ini memainkan peranan yang penting, that means when it plays important role, then it should be given importance, right? So that is the reason that this has got into a limelight of government regulators, industries, and so on. I think that's why relevant enough for us to have our panelists today to discuss on this. Right now, I think we will start with our first panelist, Mr. Fadil Rosli from CAAM. He's the man when it comes to drone. He is the task force. Katakan dia penguatkuasa lah, polis when it comes to drone punya environment. So without further ado, I welcome Mr. Fadli with your touch point on drones. Yeah.
Okay, terima kasih. Semua boleh dengar suara saya? Everybody can hear me loud and clear. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, my name is Muhammad Fadilah bin Rosli from Flight Operation Division in CAAM. Okay, I've been told that I have 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes for my segment.
No worries, no worries. Feel free.
Okay, I have some slides to share. Okay, let me share my screen first. Yeah, different. Sorry, I chose the different screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Everybody? Semua boleh nampak screen?
Boleh.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon or evening to everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. So the title of today's webinars that has been given to my team or me is Drones, Regulations and Initiative in Malaysia. Okay. So I believe most of you droners, drone operators or drone enthusiasts out there is aware that drone activities in Malaysia are bound to Malaysia Civil Aviation Regulations 2016, Regulation 140 until 144. But I would not explain all the regulations, but I would like to share some extract taken from Regulation 140 and 143. Okay. Okay, Regulation 140, Unmanned Aircraft System. No person shall fly an unmanned aircraft system in Class A, B, or G airspace or within an aerodrome traffic zone and at the height of more than 400 feet above the surface of the Earth. Okay, but point to note, okay, Class G is an uncontrolled airspace from ground level up to 25,000 feet. Okay. And hence, under this regulation alone, okay, all drone or UAS activities must be authorized by the Chief Executive Officer or previously known as Director General and shall be subject to the requirements as may be determined by the CEO. Okay, next, Regulation 143, Small Unmanned Surveillance Aircraft. Okay, I would like to emphasize on point 1A and B, which is the restriction to fly over designated area, where designated area means any area is used for residential, commercial, industrial, or recreational purposes. Okay, again, authorization from CEO is required if you intend to fly a drone over these designated areas. Please do read the rest of the regulations by downloading the MCA 2016 document. Okay. Okay, we go to our current initiative. At the moment, we have, as of now, we have released or published on the 1st of March 2021, 3 civil aviation directives, namely the Remote Pilot Training Organization, RPTO, Agricultural UAS Operations, AGR, and Special UAS Project, SUP. Okay, so we have 3 CADs. Okay, this one is the Remote Pilot Training Organization. Okay, at the moment, we have received quite a number of applications, more than 12 or to be exact, 16 applications from companies throughout Malaysia with the intent to become an approved RPTO. Okay, we thank all those companies for their support and great response. Okay, for your information, RPTO is one of the important part of our directive. Okay, without it, CAAM is unable to approve and confidently verify that the intended UAS operations detailed in the other 2 CADs, okay, whether the intended operation is for agriculture, for special UAS project, can be operated safely within the operational limitations and requirements. Okay. So this cautious approach basically is needed in order to protect the interests of both the operator and the general public. Okay, in summary, RPTO will be the approved training organization for drone pilots to get formal, theoretical, and practical training in order to obtain Remote Pilot Certificate of Competency, RCOC. Okay, I believe for better understanding, please do read the RPTO CAD, which can be downloaded from our website. Okay, if we have any further question for this CAD, we can I can probably answer it during the Q&A session. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, for agricultural UAS operations, okay, while we are aware that drones or UAS is being used to dispense agricultural payload such as pesticides or fertilizers, okay, with great and positive impact to food production or yield, and at the same time it reduces time, money, effort, manpower, and of course cost or money. Okay, such operation, if it goes and continue without any regulatory supervision, we are afraid it is just a matter of time, bad incident or accident, okay, can occur or bound to happen, where people could get hurt or injured or worse. Okay, therefore, we hope once we have approved one or more RPTO that offers agriculture UAS training, all operators involved can quickly enroll for the training program and obtain the necessary certificate of competency. Okay, again, you can download this CAD document from our website for further information. Okay, this infographic also available on the website so that you can get the full, more understanding of the details. Okay. Okay, next, for special UAS project, okay, in order for us or CAAM to allow drone operation operates longer or further in terms of duration and distance, okay, in case of beyond visual line of sight operation or flight, or maybe to conduct riskier drone operations. For example, if you intend to fly over an assembly of people, okay, we need to have proper risk assessment document. Hence, the special US project CED require the operator to submit to us specific operation risk assessment document, which is SORA, S-O-R-A. Okay, so this SORA, which has been and still being developed by experts, okay, from other national aviation authorities from all over the world, okay, in an entity called JARUS. Okay, JARUS stands for Joint Authorities for Rulemaking on Unmanned System. Okay, information on SORA is freely available online. So you can get all the information needed for those operators who intends to do the SORA. We have also explained SORA in great detail and depth in the CAD. Okay, I'm sure that was a lot of information to digest. Okay, rest assured, you can find more information, more details by our website. Okay, or you can ask any question regarding the 3 CADs later during the Q&A session. Okay, next in our pipeline, hopefully by this year or early next year, we can have a new civil aviation regulation for UAS. Okay, we hope to launch it soon rather than later. Okay, and it will also comes together with the related directive. Okay, in order to support risk-based UAS operations. Okay, what by risk-based, essentially there are 3 types of operations categories. Okay, namely open for low risk operation, specific medium risk specific is for medium risk, and certified for high risk category of operation. Okay, the third column are the safety assurance for each of the category. For example, in open category, safety is ensured through UA compliance and operational limitations. For example, the maximum takeoff mass is no more than 25 kilograms. The altitude is no more than 120 meters. The flight must be conducted within the visual line of sight, and we plan to have the authorization via a UTM system. I will explain later more on that. And for specific category, the authorization by CAAM following a risk assessment performed by operator. And the last category is the high risk category. The requirements is compared to manned aviation. So we require certification of aircraft, operator, and also licensed remote pilot. So in the table below, you can see the list of CAD, the series of CAD. So at the moment, we have CAD 60111, CAD 0112, and CAD 0115. So we hope we can launch the rest of the CAD later this year or early next year, inshallah. Okay. Next. Okay. I will touch a little bit about open categories. Okay. Open categories, it has 3 subcategories. Okay, in summary. So we have A1, A2, A3. Okay, depending on the subcategory, we will designate specific class of UA. UA is unmanned aircraft. For example, for class C0 and C1 UA are the only UA allowed in subcategory A1, which is less than 900 grams. Okay, it means that these drones can fly over people, and it has specific pilot competency and technical requirements. Okay, for class C2, UA in A2 subcategory, the weight of the drone, the MTOM, is up to 4 kilograms. Okay, and we can only allow the operation close to people, not over people, but close to people. Okay, and lastly, the A3 category, we have 2 types of UA class, which is C3 and C4, up to 25 kilo, but the operation must be done far away from people. Okay, so this categories or subcategories will be detailed or will be explained in the incoming CADs. Okay, we need to wait for the new regulation and the incoming CADs. This is just the introduction for the things that we plan to do. Okay.
Mr. Fadil, thank you so much. You have given a very detailed explanation. But for our viewers, pada hari ini, Encik Fadil, sorry to interrupt. Right, for viewers today, boleh saya ringkaskan supaya, I think, of course, you're from the authority. You know, it was a very good way of putting things, regulation and all that. I think a lot of us has been flying drone and so on, but now we have regulation in space in space now, right now, so that those regulations can be implemented in phases, I believe, right?
Yes.
Right? So, tapi kepada viewer di luar sana, right, walaupun peraturan-peraturan ini semakin I would look that complicated lah, you know, so takut dia orang sekarang nak pegang drone pun takut tengok dia punya pecahan-pecahan ni kan. Tapi secara ringkas saya nak tanya lah. So kalau seorang tu nak jadi drone pilot, so perlu dia pergi ataupun nak menguruskan ataupun menggunakan servis drone lah, menjadi seorang operator. So dia perlu pergi ke kelas ataupun program drone ni kan? Right or not? So yang entiti yang tuan maksudkan tadi adalah RPTO. Maksud dia kan?
Betul.
Okey, sebelum ni ada RPTO tak?
Sebelum ni kita tak ada approve ataupun luluskan mana-mana training organisation untuk mengajar tentang penggunaan drone ataupun practical on drone. Jadi kita tidak meluluskan barang mana-mana organisasi lah. Jadi sebab tu kita mewujudkan program ataupun CAD RPTO ni. Jadi
so, kita yang baiklah, so ini boleh membantu untuk menjadi seorang drone operator lah. So katakan seorang petani moden lah, dia nak menggunakan drone untuk sembuh racun dan sebagainya. So dia perlu mohon secara mengikut prosedur-prosedur tertentu yang seperti yang beritahu tadi lah, mengikut keperluan yang ada. So I think ni semua ada dalam website dan Facebook sebenarnya kan. So kita akan beralih kepada panelis, our second panelist. Alright, kita akan kembali balik kepada Encik Fadil untuk tanya soalan lah daripada viewer. I think banyak drone operator dan pilot di sana, di mana I think as a moderator, I wakil mereka lah akan tanya soalan kepada Tuan Fadil nanti ya. Right, termasuklah 6011 classes and all that. Get ready for that kind of questions. But let us make it short. Before further ado, I would like to move forward towards our next panelist. I think our next panelist would be Mr. Safwan, right? Mr. Safwan from Magic. He is here. Tadi kita cakap peraturan undang-undang dan sebagainya. Mr. Safwan dia nak beritahu kita apa success story di sebalik Magic ni, macam mana dia bantu daripada drone players ni untuk mencapai mereka objektif-objektif mereka lah. I think I know Mr. Safwan ni dah berapa lama dah, right now, right from MDEC sampai sekarang dia champion drone untuk kita semua ni. Alright, let's hear from Mr. Safwan.
Okay, thank you so much, Dato'. Assalamualaikum, very good afternoon. My name is Safwan. But Dato' has briefly introduced me. I'm from Magic. Allow me to take you through a quick presentation in terms of what I've shared, so that I can I have focused my train of thought. So hold on, let me see. Okay. Can you see the screen? Yes?
We can see you, but not the screen yet, I think.
Not the screen yet. Okay, hold on. Let's try again.
Okay, now we can. Now we can.
Now we can?
Yeah.
It's not my WhatsApp screen, yeah?
Yeah, no, I can see your nicely prepared screen, yeah.
So it's the technology drone in Malaysia propelling towards the future, correct?
Yeah.
So if you see my WhatsApp, just ignore. Or keep quiet and continue reading my WhatsApp. So thank you so much again for the invitation, Dato', and also nice to meet you again, Cik Fadil. Cik Fadil dengan myself, we just had a meeting the other day. and also Grace, nice meeting you again. And also to all our lovely audience this afternoon, thank you so much. Hope you guys are staying safe. This is one of many of the sessions that I've been invited. I truly enjoy meeting all the audience. And I was told today the reason why I'm speaking more in English because I was told that there was maybe quite a number of international audience as well. Yeah, and I think if you need to ask, if you need me to bertukar ke bahasa Malaysia, silakan. I'm conversant in both. Yeah, but for the purpose of our international audience, I shall use English. So let's just dive in straightforward. So Dato' Ganesh has introduced me from Magic. Just to let you know, I've been in Magic for less than a year, but Magic has been around already 7 years. We just celebrated our 7-year anniversary last 2 months ago. It is an agency under Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation dedicated to creating and helping to create more of our technology startups, yeah, and also the vibrant ecosystem for our such startups to grow. Okay, I'm not going to read everything here, guys. So I'm just going to go chop. So if you have any question, we can always ask. It depends on what you, it is about what you want to know. And I think today's session is about drone. But it's important for you to know in terms of the context, in terms of the agency that I represent and what we do. Because later on, I will switch slides to NTIS, which is National Technology Innovation Sandbox. But for now, just to show, and you may have read as well what is on screen in terms of our impact, that is Magic's impact to the ecosystem of startup. Yeah, if you're if you're an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur thinking of picking up drones, look no further, come and talk to me. I'm more than happy to guide you in terms of what are the relevant programs out there that we can facilitate for you to become from an aspiring entrepreneur in drone tech to a successful entrepreneur in drone technology. Yeah, and locally focusing on local, regional, as well as global markets as well. Again, a snapshot of what we do overall. As you go to, as an entrepreneur, you will go to various stages, early, middle, and later stage. We have all of our programs very sort of like curated for the respective entrepreneurs. And in fact, last year, somewhere in Q3, we run a specific bootcamp on drone tech. And we're happy to run it again if there is more demand towards it, okay? A snapshot of what we do, and the teams that are under my current responsibility, looking at social innovation, looking at capability development. There's also a team Magic that looks in terms of going to market. On the bottom left is the NTIS. Yeah, when you see cohort application open for cohort 10. Now, I'm going to switch very quickly into National Technology Innovation Sandbox, or NTIS, or let's call it Sandbox for ease of reference. Yeah, so I hope this works. I'm going to play you guys a video. It's only going about 2 minutes long, but it explains everything that we do.
Kisah yang hebat bermula dengan sebuah perjalanan.
Sorry guys, so I was told that the Zoom is video quality is a bit lagging. I think I shall not torture you guys to watch a video if the quality is subpar. So if let's say you're interested to get the video, I can always provide you with a link separately, or you can look it up online. It's there. Yeah. So I'm sorry for those who are enjoying the video right now, just now. I think it's just that we also have to take into consideration for those who are not having the speed that enables them to enjoy the video. Let me just dive into talking about Sandbox. Yeah. So Dato is very familiar about this. Fadil is very familiar about this. Grace is very familiar about this. When we talk about the Sandbox here, it's in context of a place whereby it is for innovators, startups, researchers to be able to conduct their product development in a safe environment, especially those product and solution that involves a lot of regulation. So that is where we need actually the Sandbox in the context whereby it is safe for you to be able to test without causing harm to public. And I think this is what is important as well to civil aviation, because public safety is very, very important, very, very critical. And we want to make sure that, especially like when you're flying, whether or not it's 8 rotos, 4 rotos, it's flying things and it weighs 5 kilos or 20 kilos, goes above public, you want to make sure that it is safe. So in the Sandbox, we work with the industry, the government, the academia, as well as the startup. What we want to achieve is to accelerate innovation adoption, build engines of growth, as well as boost public sector efficiency. Yep. So we have something that we, at the early start of the Sandbox, we work with all the respective ministries and agencies to identify what are their national grant challenges. We are also working with corporate sector to identify what are the corporate grant challenges as well, because we want to match the innovative solution to what the government needs as well as to the corporate needs. This is in a way very quickly just to show you what takes place in the Sandbox itself. In this case, we are taking an example of a smart highway. A company that we work with is involved in the smart highway, and they have a strategy. Yeah, they're looking at operational efficiency, revenue, as well as new mobility. So we took the problem, we took the journey together with them, we dissected, and then we try and identify what model on the right hand side applies to them. Open innovation model, closed innovation model, who do you want to work with, researchers, funders, yeah, including as well the test site, Sandbox operators. And those of you, I think majority of the audience here today, because if you're interested in drone, then most likely than not, what will be applicable for you is a physical rather than a non-physical or a virtual Sandbox, yeah. So in this case, I think Grace will talk a bit about later of their offerings of the 25-acre and possible expanding the drone test site in Medini. Just to highlight that Magic doesn't work alone. NTIS is a program by MOSTI. At the same time, we are working with our technical assessors, which is Technology Park Malaysia and MIMOS, as well as our regulatory advisor, which is Futurize, and our funding partners, which is MTDC. So just to let you know, NTIS does not just give you the sort of like the validation in terms of your technology solution works or your drone tech solution works, but it also offers you funding facility as well. And just also to share a bit more about how do we select the kind of projects that we want. So we go by the 10x10 framework, which is produced by the Academy Science of Malaysia, whereby we map the technology drivers below. If you can see the row below, they have 10 technology drivers to the socio-economic sectors. Why? Because technology, developing technology and innovating technology is not for the sake of just dealing with technology for fun. You have to make sure that it is beneficial to the country, to the community, society. Yeah. So this is captured by the socio-economic sector. For example, you're using swarm drones and you want to make sure that you have the ability to control multiple drones for the purpose of agriculture spraying, which is more efficient, correct? So this is where we map the 10 of the technology drivers and the 10 of the socio-economic sectors. And if you are applying for NTIS in your project falls within this scope and you are at technology readiness level 6, yeah, chances are you will be included and you will be accepted into the Sandbox. Some of the things that you may get if you are a corporate or an applicant, assuming that majority here are applicants, you will be given advisory, application processing, and the startup grant. You will have access to the national grant challenges, as I mentioned earlier, which is the problem statement of the government, as well as the corporate problem statement. Will facilitate you from marketing, and you will have market access to our go-to-market programs, as well as advice on intellectual property matters as well, because you need to commercialize. And to commercialize, one of the important things that you need to have is IP. Some of the initial works that we have done previously together with our friends at Civil Aviation, the Drone Task Force, is to be able to shape as mentioned, some of the regulation that was highlighted just now, by Encik Fadil. So this we can see that there's a pre-NTIS and there's a post-NTIS. We like to think that we have been able to help Encik Fadil and team in terms of being able to pull the industry together, to give you good feedback so that we can continue to develop an adaptive regulatory environment that suits the drone tech ecosystem players. Some of our the three main sandboxes that is ongoing right now, all of it are involving drones, would be our agricultural sandbox, Felda Mempaga Bentung Pahang, and our Grace later on can also speak about the drone and robotic zone, which is happening in Medini 6, and the logistics sandbox, our collaboration together with AirAsia. Very briefly, I will take one example, which is Felda. I have other examples. If you have time, we can go through it. But in the case of Felda, we understand what are their critical issues, their challenges, and we try and see how we can map that with the solution of the providers in the NTIS that has applied for sandbox grants. Take here, for example, we have pesticide spraying drones by Polar Drone and Aerodyne. So at the same time, we are also very well aware of what are the potential impacts that Felda wants to achieve. Settlers' income, reduction in labor force. So this is what happens generally in a sandbox. If you think you can contribute to this kind of like sandbox, you have a great solution, innovative solution, you may want to, I would advise you strongly to apply for the NTIS. I'm going to skip the other two.
Thank you, Safwan. A good one. That I hate to interrupt you.
No problem.
Being a moderator, I was told to keep in according to the time slot given, right? But I love to have this more in our upcoming sessions. But of course, this will trigger for more questions. All right, so you have to get ready. But I'm good work you're doing out there. Now, in short, I want to ask you now, to all the drone players out there, this looks fantastic. Now, I have a drone and I have a technology to introduce to our fellow Malaysians, right? Can I apply to Magic? Simple question.
Okay, so I would advise go to sandbox.gov.my, because you apply to Magic. Magic will help you in terms of getting yourself ready to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
If you're interested in terms of you have an innovative product, you want to market it, you want to help advance the development of it, go to sandbox.gov.my. There is an application link. And then there will be, we will spell there in terms of criteria. Short answer, yes, you can, but don't apply to Magic, because then you'll get the wrong link and you'll.
So Magic is a facilitating body which helps the drone players out there. Okay,
yes.
Para penonton di luar sana, just like to put it in our national language. Para penonton di luar sana, katakan ada teknologi drone yang diguna pakai yang boleh membuahkan hasil dari segi meningkatkan produktiviti dan sebagainya, saya sarankan, dan seperti mana Encik Safwan tadi beritahu, kita pergi ke link yang akan kita masukkan dekat chat box tu untuk apply benda tersebut. Tapi benda tu bukan setakat idea saja, kenalah benda yang boleh ditunjukkan, ada dari sampai ke POC lah, dia boleh menunjukkan yang idea itu telah diguna pakai. Alright, banyak bantuan, banyak idea dia telah diberi bimbingan oleh Magic dan sebagainya. I think Magic is working on creating more entrepreneurs as well. Alright,
Datuk, just to highlight untuk angka lah untuk kita bincangkan. So about the close untuk buat masa ni lebih kurang 2,000 lebih aplikasi daripada itu lebih kurang 400 yang kita telah luluskan. 150 dah pun kita bawa ke our executive, our jawatan kuasa pemilihan lah, dan daripada jumlah tersebut lebih kurang 50 dah pun diberi dana, dana yang dah pun yang committed oleh government sekarang ni hampir untuk yang dah lulus hampir 40 juta.
So ini untuk melahirkan usahawan dronepreneur lah ni. So we are global players. Safwan, boleh tak kita drone player kita ni semua pemain global kan?
Boleh.
Fantastic drone players I think kalau nampak Facebook tu banyak player-player drone berbagai teknologi yang diguna pakai. We are also equally impressed with whatever they have been showcasing and demonstrating. With a lot of government support, with a lot of people like Safwan in Magic has been pushing this forward. Untuk ketahui itu nanti kita masukkan dalam chat box nanti, and any question we will try to take up the prioritized question later in the session. Now, someone has been waiting for us, Miss Grace. She's the lead in the Iskandar Hub. Right, carry on. It's all yours.
Hold on. So let me just share my slide. As Safwan is speaking, right, I understand that I don't have much time, so I've been hiding some of my slides as well.
We can see your slide.
All right. Okay. So before I get into what DRZ Iskandar is, I think it's also very important for me to also explain where we are. And for some of the audience that may not know where is Iskandar, Malaysia, we are located in southern part of Malaysia, right next to Singapore. Yeah. And in Iskandar, Malaysia, we are actually 3 times the size of Singapore, and there's 5 development zones in Iskandar, Malaysia. Where we are right now is at Zone B, where it is being designated as Johor's digital hub. So within where we are in Zone B, we have very close proximity to Singapore. From our office to the checkpoint in Singapore only takes us 10 minutes drive. Yeah, on the good days where we can cross border, it only takes us 45 minutes to get from where we are in our office to the CBD in Singapore. So we are that close to Singapore. And within 20 to 25 kilometer radius from our location, you have access to the seaports and the airports. So it is very centrally and strategically located. And with that, I would like to introduce my company. Iskandar Investment Berhad is a government-linked organization that is owned by both federal and state. So where we are right now, we are a strategic developer focusing in driving economic growth in Iskandar, Malaysia. And we are focusing in high impact, catalytic, and high value projects, mainly in the areas of creative, education, healthcare, leisure wellness, as well as in infra, and right now in emerging tech. So apart from focusing in property development, property investment, we are also looking at developing the ecosystem to create the value and content for the location. And ultimately, we want to create high value jobs for the location and to position Johor and drive Johor to its fullest potential. Yeah. So that's about the company and about DRZ Iskandar. So compared to perhaps Safwan and all those that are in the room, I'm actually a baby here in the drone tech industry. So DRZ Iskandar was launched very recently, last year in December, by both the Chief Minister of Johor and also the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Yeah, why? Because we both share the same vision and aspiration to develop this location into a regional hub for drone and robotic. Yeah, because we want to be able to look at how we can support the whole ecosystem from the regional point of view. Yeah. So before we even look at coming out with what are the components that's important to form the house of our DRZ Iskandar ecosystem, we actually had a lot of discussion which involved Safwan as well. And also, if you look at some of the agencies and logos at the bottom of the house, which are formed by the government agencies, the talent partners, even from the corporates and private sectors, where we work together with the drone and robotic key players to understand what are the challenges for them to in this industry and what is required for them to thrive. Yeah. So with that and multiple meetings and all that, this is where we come up with this ecosystem where we are focusing on what are the areas that we need to develop in order for us to drive this forward. Yeah. So then we look at the importance of having a test site, a sandbox for drones and robotic and also autonomous vehicles to test their products and solutions. We also look at what are the development and workspace that is required by them. Yeah, apart from a make and repair lab, a workspace, what else is required? If they need to scale out, do they then need an assembly and distribution area? So these are all the areas that we are looking at and working on. Yeah, and of course, the very, very key and important part of it, which is the talent development. So this is one of the main track and very important focus area for us as well, to be able to churn out the right talent for the industry. Yeah, and of course, in terms of events, is where we look at creating the right platforms for the industry players to come together and also to have and create the kind of visibility that is required for the players, the communities, and how do we also create that platform for local and international players to come together to collaborate for B2B opportunity and also knowledge sharing. Yeah, in terms of policy, we are also looking at us being the platform and also to participate with the discussion with the regulatory body. And the last and most important part is the acceleration and commercialization. How do we then help some of this company to further accelerate their business? How do we then help them to create more commercialization opportunity and to have more adoption? So this is the area where we look at whether do we come in to provide the right kind of advisory, and if not, who are the key players or the stakeholders that can come in to help support the financial or funding requirement, or to give them the opportunity to have a proof of concept. Okay, so these are some of the areas that we are looking at. Now, over the years, IIB has invested in developing the infrastructure for the location, and we are happy to say that, with that investment that has been done in the past, we have got the right infrastructure and facilities in place for us to bring forward the drone and robotic ecosystem. So if you look at the areas that we have mapped out, we have actually designated zones and areas where some of these location within our land, and also that can take place different kinds of activities. We have EduCity, which is one of our subsidiary. It is a multi-campus, a multi-varsity campus where it houses locals and regional universities and institute of higher learning. So this is the area where talent development can take place. This is also an area where we can host multiple drones and robotic events, because they also have a large sports complex, indoor facilities as well. And this is also the area that can conduct, that will be able to give a live site for POC on autonomous and AV POC, right? So these are some of the living labs that we have put in place where you can test your solution in a live environment. With us also, we have the Iskandar Malaysia studio, where you have the facility of a large indoor stadium for you to conduct indoor tests. And they also have, if you need the requirement to do underwater drone testing, this is also the location that you can actually look at. And these are the facilities that is already in place. And of course, I think the more interesting part is that we have also designated test site for both drone and AV. For drones, we have designated about 25 acres of VLOS test site. And it's also our aspiration, and we have already identified the site for BVLOS test site that is right now, we are looking at up to 2,700 acres of land with a straight line distance of 8 km. So this is our aspiration and a proposed test site for BVLOS, but of course, we will be working very closely with the authorities and regulatory to understand and to do a feasibility study on whether or not the proposed site is suitable, yeah, and to get the appropriate approval as well. If you look at the mark at D, that's where all the workspaces, the incubator and maker lab will be located at. It's already there, and right now we already have companies that are operating from there, and are happy to also say that in the same location in Madini 6, SG Academy has also set up their Center of Drone Excellence, the first drone academy in the location. There's also a R&D Makers Lab that is scheduled to be operational in Q3 this year. It is also in this area as well, around the offices, where we can allow POCs on a live environment where you want to do security surveillance, drone delivery, autonomous last mile delivery as well. Of course, there are many more applications that can be carried out in that location. So just approach us, let us know what are the solutions that you would like to test out in this environment and in this location. We will see how we can then support you with that. Lastly, if you're looking at scaling up, if you're looking at setting up your own assembly and MRO line, be in touch with us as well, as we need to gather what are your requirements. And this is something that we are looking at to be able to fulfill by next year. Okay, so some of the progress today, apart from some of the test sites that we have identified and also Makers Lab that will be operational, we're also happy to say that, working very closely with MAGIC and NTIS, we have also received the first cohort of the POCs, and which right now we are processing all of it, and we have successfully conducted a POC recently for surveillance and security. There are many more in the pipeline. For example, in the delivery of emergency medical equipment, and also in security. So these are some of the POCs that would take place later on. Right now, it just has to be put on hold because of the MCO situation. But hopefully after this, there'll be a lot more that would be taking place in that location. And in terms of talent, I think SG Academy has recently opened up their center over there, and also managed to squeeze in a 5-day workshop right before MCO started on drone maintenance and repair. So this workshop, I think we have got very good response. So we have about 50 people actually registered for it. So this center will offer short-term courses and long-term courses. So be in touch with us if you are interested to see how you can be part of this and to enroll in some of the courses. Yeah. Apart from drones, we also have robotics companies that are already setting up in our location, taking advantage of the location that we are in, where they need to service their southern region clients and also to penetrate into the Singapore market. At the same time, we are also receiving a lot of inquiries from companies in Singapore where they are looking at scaling up and to grow. So I think it's very obvious the benefit of setting up in a location. The cost arbitrage is very,
Grace. Sorry, Grace, I have to interrupt you. I think many of our viewers
talking like a train.
many of the viewers are ready to ask a lot of questions here. Me, hate being a moderator here, like to interrupt and trying to balance up between the viewers and the panelists today. So I'm the Batman today. Right now, Grace, to summarize, now if I'm a drone guy, I have a small enterprise. Can I contact DRZ to start up my company?
Of course.
So you will support us in terms of the flying space testing site and whatnot, right? All right. At
this point of time, right, we really understand that there may not be a one-size-fits-all solution, right, for different kind of company, as different kind of company may have different requirements. So be in touch with us so that we know what are the support that you require and what are the requirements that you need, right? So yes, be in touch with our team and we'll see which are the areas that you want to be in and what kind of support do you need.
Thank you, Grace. So kepada pemain-pemain drone player dekat sana yang siapa-siapa nak buka sebuah syarikat yang berkenaan dengan drone, teknologi dan sebagainya, Iskandar ada tempat yang besar di Johor untuk buat penerbangan. Dia merupakan test site yang pertama yang luas. Mereka membolehkan menggunakan teknologi drone lah. Setakat ni I think banyak syarikat telah mula menjalankan operasi untuk testing dan sebagainya. So saya sarankan untuk hubungi Miss Grace di chat box nanti. Kita akan letakkan pegawai-pegawai yang in charge lah untuk supaya drone players dapat menghubungi mereka. So we would like to facilitate this right from small drone players, big players, or even companies from overseas. We are open to for drone technologies in Malaysia. We call this a drone economy. Now, I would like to straight away jump into the questions. All right. Some of the prominent questions that I would like to pick up for today is based on the questions given by my back end. Yes, but if the questions are not answered, trust me, we'll email you or we will private message you on the answers later on. Now, to begin with, this goes to Magic, correct? Soalan dia macam ni. The question goes like this. Would like to know further on Magic drone project in Felda oil pump. Can you summarize this in short and sweet manner, Mr. Safwan?
With me, there's no short and sweet. It's always long. Anyway, so I think it's just that in which respect actually should I be focusing on? Do you think? Because right now we have for Felda, we have technically there are 3 companies that are capable of doing drones, and 2 of which are testing in terms of the drone product and solution there. Yeah. So if I mean this is one of many. So hopefully, if the product is proven, then it can be taken across to all the other parts of Felda's estate nationwide.
So do you welcome other players as well on the same space for oil pump? Do you have barriers? Can you accommodate them?
I think we can, because and then we should think beyond Malaysia shores. Yeah?
That's the spirit. Yeah.
So I think you know that.
Going. Yeah.
And I think for one, Malaysia at one point in time, we were the main producer for oil palm, but we lost that race because we don't have the size of land compared to Indonesia. But I think what we still retain is the deep knowledge regarding oil palm, the technology around it, and also the automation needs in the estates. And I think this is where it opens up opportunity for drone companies, technology players to come in and see how do you automate some of these processes.
Sure, I'm sure many of them here will be glad to be part of this, and once again we can become the global players champions. All right. Now, question number 2: will the CAAM regulation be reviewed to drive potential drone services in high dense areas? All right.
So
maksudnya di tempat yang ada ramai penduduk, right? Apakah peraturan tersebut ataupun undang-undang tersebut akan dikaji balik, selidik?
Okey, soalan yang bagus. Jadi untuk operasi yang contohnya di kawasan yang berkepadatan tinggi, jadi dia mungkin akan jatuh dalam kategori spesifik. Okey, macam mana yang saya telah jelaskan tadi. Kita akan memaskini peraturan sedia ada dan akan mengeluarkan 3 jenis kategori pengoperasian. Okey, salah satunya adalah kategori spesifik. Jadi kalau operator ingin menjalankan apa-apa operasi di kawasan yang berkepadatan tinggi, melintasi perkumpulan ataupun assembly of people, jadi dia kena buat yang tadi itulah risk assessment yang kita panggil sebagai SORA.
SORA, so dia kena ikut SORA, prosedur SORA lah, mana-mana pun ya kan? So I think it's a standard procedure that they have to follow kalau ad hoc dan sebagainya, correct?
Dia bergantung kepada bentuk operasi lah. Kalau operasi dia within visual line of sight, okay, bawah 400 kaki kan. Jadi bila kita ada kategori open, dia boleh dia bergantung juga dengan berat drone tu juga. Kalau drone tu bawah 900 gram, dia boleh terbang di kawasan ada orang, over people. Okay. Tapi kalau drone dia bawah 4 kg, tapi di antara itulah 900 gram ke 4 kilo, dia hanya boleh terbang close to people.
So it's once again it goes back to SORA and it's on an ad hoc basis lah. They can be in touch with you, your department, your task force to accommodate to their request. Now we got an extension of 5 to 10 minutes of this program because we are pouring in with a lot of questions from viewers. Now this is something interesting that I picked up. Mr. Fadil, I'm not too sure whether you're ready to answer this, but this is going to be a challenging one. Mr. Fadil, how CAAM accommodate for rocket testing? I believe we did testing in Seberang Perak but lack safety. Should involve military. Ini soalan daripada bukan saya ya, ini penonton. Make sure a quick one, boleh? CAAM is the spotlight today. You guys are the champion.
Untuk roket kita akan ada different kind of CAD lah, sebab dia tak termasuk dalam di CAD.
Okay, so bukan bidang kuasa CAAM lah roket.
bukan masuk bukan bidang kuasa. Dia bergantung kepada keperluan. Jadi boleh tulis email kepada kami dan jelaskan apa sebenarnya intention, di mana roket
So
jenis apa.
dengar viewers, you can email diorang if you want to go beyond the technology frontier, testing and all that. It's nothing wrong to be Elon Musk kat Malaysia. You want to launch your rocket and all that, but safety is our concern. Now,
saya tambah sikit kalau dia melibatkan military, jadi bukan hanya kita jugalah. Kalau military, kalau civil, anything civil, aircraft, aviation, boleh lalu kita. Tapi kalau melibatkan military, berhubung dengan pihak military lah, saya cadangkan.
Bagus. Now, soalan yang lagi satu ya. CAAM isn't 250 for permit application, flight is expensive. Will CAAM propose any new fees or charges based on applications?
Okay, yes. We are in the midst of reviewing the fee and charges. So we believe that the new fee and charges is very much affordable. Good news to everyone. So do not worry. We know that 150 is cannot be used for across the board. So we have different sets of fees for different sets of categories or operations. So, but I cannot disclose what's the value or the fees at the moment. But we are pretty much sure that it is affordable and reasonable for everybody. Okay.
So that's interesting. So that means there will be chances to review will happen based on the application and all that, right? Okay, let's put hope on it. Right. Now, Encik Fadil, any advantage of pilot with CPL and ATPL to get RCOC? Ada tak dia punya kelebihan? Kalau dia adalah pilot, dia dapat ada dengan CPL dengan ATPL untuk dapat RCOC.
Of course, in knowledge-wise, they have advantage lah. Because obviously they have aeronautical knowledge, aviation knowledge, but we believe when you go for RCOC, everybody will have the same opportunity, the same advantage to obtain the RCOC, regardless of their background lah. But of course,
so there's an advantage lah, basically, kan? Right or not? Very good. In terms of knowledge lah, kan? We welcome all this because we have a lot of retrenched pilots also there. Can be a source of income for them to venture into the drone area. Now, interesting one. What is the vertical height test for drone testing, which is available at the moment?
I think the question is for Grace. It's in DRZ.
Right.
I guess we have to follow
for the person now, what is the vertical testing? But I think CN can contribute too.
Yeah. I think if you follow the regulation, 400.
400, eh?
A bit more? No, Grace?
Tuan Fadil, boleh ke 400?
Kena ikut regulation dah.
Vertical height testing.
It's all depend on the risk assessment.
Okay. Yeah, coming back. Why I like to provoke you on that is because whatever is that, it has to be on risk assessment, betul. Safety comes first, right? Okay. So drone players out there, you're hearing it from Mr. Fadil, you have to go through a procedure on different testing requirements and so on. So vertical testing requires to go through the same procedure, and I think normally they give the guideline height too based on normal testing. Correct?
Additionally, it also depends on the BTO lah, bahagian traffic udara, depending on the location. So probably they depend on the application, the BTO approval.
Right.
Itu bahagian traffic udara, CM.
Soalan kita bertalu-talu sekarang ya. Kita ada lagi extension 7 minit lah. So let me ask this question. Is CAAM planning to allocate a special operation corridor for drone operation to segregate manned aircraft? Ada ke?
Can I know what's the altitude? Because probably we can do that, but below 400 at very low level altitude only at the moment.
Correct. Right. Okay. Thank you for that. And Safwan, this question goes to you. What is technology part Malaysia and Magic planning in the drone industry? We are hearing a lot of thing in this space. Please shoot.
Yeah.
Not rocket testing,
Well, maybe I don't know, but I think that no, I think just keep to the what is being shared out there for our audience. We the between Magic and TPM, there is currently a consolidation exercise happening. Yeah, and it means more things that we can offer because TPM is close to about 638 acres of land. Yeah. And there are about 2/3 of the land which is still not yet utilized, and we are working with TPM and on in terms of also to have a test site, a small test sites at TPM for urban setting. Yeah, so more than happy to keep you guys informed as we go along.
Okay. If I'm operating in the open category, will I require some sort of permit or approval? Mr. Fadil? Mr. Fadil is priest. Right. Okay. Now, before he resumes, let me put this across. At the moment, does CAAM have unmanned traffic management, UTM? This was a question asked. I think Safwan, would you like to help Mr. Fadil? I think he has freezed. I'm not too sure. He has disconnected. Soalan terlalu banyak, I think.
I think what I know so far is that there has always been a discussion around the area, around the unmanned traffic management.
All right. Mr. Fadil is back. Mr. Fadil is back. Mr. Fadil, can you explain CAAM dah ada UTM ke? Unmanned traffic management, or is it in pipeline, please?
Okay, at the moment we don't have any UTM, but rest assured that we are now looking into procuring UTM system. We are hoping that we can get a UTM system by next year.
Right. Now, how about if I'm operating in the open category? I'm coming back to the earlier question. Will I require some sort of permit approval?
Open category.
Yep.
Open category, when we have UTM, they can use a mobile app so that they must agree with the terms and conditions depending on location. Then they can straight fly using the get the approval through the mobile app depending on Japan or Syrians.
Tuan Fadil, terima kasih. I nak tanya ni. Someone asked this question. Interesting. My name is Ikhtiaruddin. Sorry. Currently working in oil and gas industry. I own a few drone certificate from few drone bodies. Will my certificate be invalid due to RPTO? That's his question.
Okay, can you repeat the question? I just...
Okay, maksud dia, he's asking, he's from oil and gas industry. He have obtained few certificate in the drone ethical, right? From various bodies, right?
From various bodies.
So he's asking whether when RPTO is out, whether it will be invalid, right? Maybe I can add this. Drone operations handling drone certificate is different than piloting license, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what he's asking is, when he have additional competency in drone certificates, will this be invalid by RPTO? When you guys launch RPTO, will this be invalid?
Okay, again, it will comes back to which kind of category they want to operate. Kalau dia jatuh under open category, memang kita akan ada certain RCOC lah. RCOC, Remote Pilot Certificate of Competency. Tadi dia tunjuk some slides kan. So for open category, they need to have RCOC basic A2 for example. Okay, but if they want to operate under specific category, they are required to have RCOC B plus module 1 or module 2. So this information can obtain from our website. But of course, at the moment memang kita tak require mandatory. Contoh you nak apply for normal authorization to fly, kita tak ada orang kata okay, you need to have this certificate or that certificate. But the moment we have RPTO, then we are required to have RCOC. Then whatever certificate that they have, they can keep lah. Then but they need to enroll into RPTO and get the required RCOC.
So viewers out there, wait for RPTO to be launched, to be recognized by CAAM. So some centers are working day and night for it. Getting an additional competency, maksudnya mendapatkan drone operator punya certificate is towards drone competency. Piloting license is different. which CAAM will get RPTO to run this program according to the procedure. Bukan senang, tapi mengikut untuk keselamatan all our drone players lah. Okay, with this, I think I need to wrap up. More questions we will take in. We will send email to the concerning bodies. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank CAAM. Walaupun they are working 24/7 to make sure that we all are safe in terms of our drone. They have a special task force. You can see the tense in their face. A lot of questions pouring in. I would like to thank Mr. Fadil again to agree to come to this session. You know, you're very passionate towards drone as well. And we would like to work along. I hope all drone players work along CAAM. They may sound rigid, they may look rigid, but the reason they are doing that is for the safety of all. They play a bigger role in Malaysia. I also like to thank Mr. Safwan. I think he is almost every week online, you know, speaking on drone, but he is very passionate. The energy never goes down. He wants to make sure he create drone players. He want to put drone economy together in place, and he was one of the earliest guys from government agencies to move to visit every drone player in the country to make sure we move forward. You know, likewise, Grace has been very, very passionate about drone as well. She represents the DRZ zone, she represents IIB. She wants to make sure that she fight for drone players to have big space. She wants to accommodate as much as she can for drone. She actually do a lot of research on drone. Dia tak ada kena-mengena dengan drone pun, but she do a lot of research, so make sure she can accommodate to drone players and create more drone economies to accommodate people in the drone economy itself. Right? Saya maksudkan drone economy ini, this is reality. We talked about it a few years back and it has become reality. A lot of opportunities in drone. Stay tuned with us during these sessions. The next few sessions, we will be showcasing global players. We are looking into connecting to drone players across the country, across different vertical to bring the best information for you. And thanks again to all the viewers to support this event. And I'm sure that you have a lot of questions. I'm very sorry I can't take up all the questions, but I'm sure to accommodate all of you all through email and so on. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to my team out there, Asian Drone and SG Academy. Thank you again for hosting this. With that, stay safe. See you soon. Bye.